So I guess if I was a real daily vlogger, I'd be talking about Spider-Man right now because that's what everybody's talking about. But that's not what I want to really talk about. I do want to talk about the news that Spider-Man and, well, it's not Spider-Man, but, you know, Sony and Disney may not be coming to a great agreement on him still being a part of the MCU. What I want to talk about is monopolies and how Disney very much is one, and how our antitrust laws is bullshit and useless in this country, and how even though I love the fact that we're going to see the Avengers possibly fighting the X-Men or something like that, as a fan and as a dork, that's really cool, but let's be real, this is not a good thing for artists. This is not a good thing for film industry, publishing industry, because Disney's in all that. This is not a good thing for, well, every part of industries, because Disney should be charged with antitrust laws. But then again, WWE and wrestling should have been charged with antitrust penalties, but they never were. If Disney, what I think is going to happen eventually, they'll buy Sony, or once Sony screws up these movies, because base facts, there was no Spider-Man movies, there was MCU movies with Spider-Man in them, basically. And once Disney sees they can get the chance, they'll buy them. Nobody thought they could ever buy the Potter Fox that they got, but they did get it. Nobody ever thought they would make a deal where they would get Spider-Man in the universe, but they did. It happened. Disney and all the major corporations have a plan. They want to take film industry back to the way it used to be. And when you had a couple of studios, and then nobody else could get their movies into theaters because they make deals. You can't cover us. You can't have anything to do with us if you cover these. Same thing with medias, film, theater chains, and everything. They're going to strong arm people, and Sony and people like that probably won't be able to deal with it. Once Disney gets done with their streaming goals, their next goals is theater chains. And once they get done with the theater chains, they're going to look at platforms like Facebook and other media controlled places, so they can control the narrative when it comes to not only their films, but everybody else's. And in time, what Disney will eventually move on to is something like YouTube and Vimeo and other platforms where independent filmmakers are able to make somewhat of a living or start to break into the industry. But once they get rid of those or control those, you won't be able to do it either without giving Disney a huge part of it. So how do we make the changes to change that? We might be too far down that deep hole. Because face it, if we were really a country that wanted to go after antitrust, people like Disney, Wal-Mart wouldn't be in business today. I wouldn't doubt if Disney hadn't looked at the modern sense of stuff like Walmart's done. Walmart's always took people and say, if you want to carry our products in their store, fine, we'll carry your products, but we'll mark it down so low you don't make any money off of them. And by the way, when you get ready to struggle, they'll buy you. And I see Disney doing that with Sony and others. If they start buying theater chains after their streaming plans are done, which they'll probably buy streaming plans, that's probably part of theirs, put all those out of business. Remember, if you just stockholder and Hulu, Disney, they did that so they can learn how to do it, because they've had a streaming thing around for a while. It wasn't successful, but eventually you'll either have to become them or they'll own you.